if you want to understand intuition, you have to accept that there are two worlds. There are two worlds. You have the material, physical world, and there is the one that is immaterial, that is invisible to the eyes, to the senses. And this is the world we are talking about, we are speaking about here. And what I want to tell you is that until you get connected to that immaterial world, there are many things, and I would say your whole life will not function the way it is supposed to function. You will miss things in your life because the immaterial is the real, is the essence, it is the substance of everything. While preparing this video, I thought about soldiers who came back from war and they were amputated from one member or one part of their body, and they would say that they still feel it. They feel that part of their body even though it does not exist in the physical, in the material. They can't touch it, but they still feel it. There can be a lot of theory on that, but this can illustrate the fact that there are many things that you don't see, that you can't touch, but still they are there. They exist. And this is about your intuition, your conscience, your faith. You will need faith, trust, to be able to navigate in that world. Why? Because you can't see it. You can't see it. Let me give you an example. If your intuition tells you that you're going to buy a house, you're going to have this type of house, but in the material world, you don't even see how this can happen. You don't even know. You don't have proof of that. But your inside world, the invisible, the immaterial, is able to give you that information. It does not tell you how yet, but it gives you the information, the piece of information, for different reasons. Maybe to reassure you, maybe for you to start doing some research, but for a reason or another, it gives you the information. This is your inside world, inner world you have to be connected to. You see, when Jesus told one of the Pharisees, "You are a teacher of the world, you are a spiritual teacher and you don't understand this concept." Because he was telling him about you need to be born again. You need to be born of the Spirit. You need to be born of the invisible, immaterial substance that still exists, that still speaks. I said it in the former video. There are things that do not make sound. They don't make any sound, but they speak. They speak to you. So, this is the world you have to be connected to. This is coming back, coming to who you really are. In the story of the prodigal son, it is said that when he has wasted all his inheritance, and he found himself in a state of lack, of starvation, that he even wanted to eat the pig's food. That is to show how low he went, and that is also to show you that when you don't listen to your inner self, you can go very low in life. Because the inner self is speaking to you all the time. I said that there are codes. I said that it is a language that you need to learn. So it came to a point where he did not have anything left. And it is written that he came to himself. He came to himself and said that he would go back to his father, because even his father's servants were better treated than the life he was living at the time. So coming to yourself helps you do better in life. You can make decisions on the base of what you think, of what you calculate, of what you can see. But most of the time it doesn't work. It is not that straight. It is not that way. The real way is the inner way. It comes from inside. That is why in the area of marriage, of relationship, I always say you need to know your inner self before you get into a relationship with someone. How will you know who fits to your soul? Who is like you if you don't know your inner self? You know yourself from outside, from your body, from your senses, but you don't know the inner person. I said that the intuition was a language. Without intuition, if you ignore it, if you spend your life ignoring it, or part of your life in ignoring it, you are like someone who lives in a country where you don't speak the language. You don't speak the language, you don't understand the language. So now, does it make sense? Do you see how disabled that makes you? How weak that makes you? How hard your life becomes? And now, let's say that you learn the language. You take a course. You learn the language. You know how to speak. You learn how to speak it. And you learn how to understand it. You even learn how to write it. So your life becomes easier. It's the same thing for intuition. Now you have, and as I said, to navigate in this inner world, and I would even say in this inner kingdom. It's a realm. It's a realm. What you see around you is a kingdom. There are different kingdoms, material ones, but you also have the inner ones. So, as I said, this is the second world. This is the second kingdom. In that kingdom, you need that language. You need it, or else, you know what happens? You are bumping into walls. You are crashing everywhere. You are hurting yourself, putting yourself into a lot of trouble, pain, without understanding what's happening to you, because you don't speak the language. It means that in that realm, you don't even see. You don't see. So you hurt yourself. And in the material world, you don't understand what's happening to you. Your conscience also is an inner world. Your conscience is the voice, the knowledge that is going to tell you what to do and what not to do. You can also listen to it or ignore it, but your life won't be the same. So to work with in that inner world, to work in that inner world, you need the third element is faith. It means trust. When your conscience speaks to you, you need to trust it. when your intuition speaks to you, you need to trust it. Why so many people can't do it? Because they lack the trust. They lack the trust that is the substance of what you can't see, but you know. You can't see it, but you know there is something inside you telling you this is the right answer, this is the right thing to do, this is the right career. This is, even though people tell you that it won't work, nobody can succeed in that career, but you know that you know that you know. And when you try and go and do other things, it doesn't work. So you need today to start working in that inside world, the knowledge of inside, from inside, the knowledge from inside. It has its codes, it has its requirements. You can't get this knowledge anyhow, anywhere, by living your life anyhow. No. You really need some specifics. You need some things to be able to learn that knowledge, to learn that language. An example is, for example, you need to put yourself in a place where you can hear it. When I say you need some things, it's, for example, putting yourself in a place where you can find calm. When you are surrounded with a lot of people, a lot of opinions, and in situations that are very busy, it's difficult to hear, especially if you are not trained to hear it. It's very difficult. Now, if you put yourself in a calm, peaceful environment, you can easily hear it until you practice it and you have more access to it in different situations. This is why people who do retreats, even people who take vacations regularly, they do better than those who deprive themselves from that rest because they don't have time, because the company would not allow it. The company does not allow it. The problem is that when you are always busy, you can't get access to your inner information that you really need. This is an example when I said you need some things and there are some requirements. This was an example of that. All right. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.